I've probably not done a good job of explaining that very well. But essentially, if it doesn't happen to the corner and getting a good launch down the long front straights, they're different.
It really was a breakthrough weekend. Here is your starting grid for race 1. It's Richie.
Sepang International Circuit. We are going to get underway race in the 2023 Asia Talent Cup. So you can see it's already brightening up compared to what it was. Knowledge and gains the most confidence on those few sighting laps they did.
When it was bucketing down, it seems to have cleared up quite a bit. So good signs ahead. As you can see, it's still a very, very wet track, but we imagine the ATC points record. Jack Puet-de-San 74 behind with Mitani and
bikes there, but nothing too treacherous to say the least. It looks a little bit worse out the back end of the circuit. Getting ready to celebrate Veda Pratama becoming the 2023 is his chief sighting from pole position. Zawa and Adaki lining up next. Underway for race 1 here of Asia Talent Cup action in Malaysia. It looks like a great start on the number 9, Pratama. Look at Pratama on the number 7 coming through up the inside. Breaks early, does Pratama. Puet-de-San on the 20 up the inside. No, not quite. It's getting close into turn 1. Pratama up to 3rd place. That's a great start.
But brilliant start from Japanese rider Shinya Azawa. He's out in the lead. I'm not quite sure who this is. I think it's Ahmed Darwisi, who's been left behind a little bit. Indeed.
Bunch did Azawa on Takahira, but the second phase of the start, Takahira managed to get a decent one as well. But it is Takahira in mathematical contention in the title race. The number 14 of Adaki. Not the one. Pratama will be crowned champion, but a long way to go.
Adaki eyeing up a lunge inside of Pratama. Move if he does, but Pratama is up into 2nd place now. Odaki down to 3rd, Takahira into 4th, but here comes the number 9 again to regain the position from Odaki, while you can see Zen Mitani is also in contention, but out front Veda Pratama is going to make his move on Shinya.
Down to P3, Mitani in P4, Takahira in P5, and is that Puet-de-San? It is still in P6. That's Pratama that's crashed out. Pratama has gone down on the entry of turn 6. The number 7 of Pratama just as he's taken the lead. Title race drama here in Sepang race 1. Veda Pratama on lap 2 has crashed out of the lead. He's back up on his feet. Can he get the bike?
There was where it was wettest. Here we're going to see the replay. He was cruising out front, swinging it around turns 5, 6. And then let's see, he's going to lose it front, I think. It just goes very early on him as well, coming
that does go
out
early.
Of turn 6.
Yeah, just coming round.
Disaster for him, and it means the title fight is going to rumble on. Brings Puet-de-San back into contention if he can get under the 50-point mark. Necessary pressure onto himself in race 2, which means there just might be a little bit more life in this title race just yet.
There's absolutely life in launch it at the inside. Is he going to have a 2-for-1 deal there down at turn 9? The tight hairpin. Yes, he is. A great move from Takahira. Clearly gaining confidence is the number 9 machine in these conditions. Is he going to take Adaki up the inside at turn 11? No, not quite this time. It just started to split in the opening couple of laps. Has closed together. Let's get the gaps across the line. Adaki leading the way. Ogiwara in P6 is 1.2 seconds down. You can see there on the number 16, and he has set the fastest lap of the race at 2:35.321. He's getting a little bit tight down there at turn 1. Adaki leading. Mitani now up in 2nd place. Takahira in P3 and Azawa.
Takahira just behind them as we were casting our eye on Mitani and Odaki. And look at the spray coming up off the rear wheels there at turn 2. That's a big high side.
Yeah, that's Gading going down.
From Gading, indeed. Oof, and thankfully easy as Zen Mitani fires it up the inside, and Shinya Azawa having a little look too. It's a 4-way fight for the win, and what this will do is bring Jack Puet-de-San right into contention. He's beginning, and he's actually been faster the last couple.
8 machine, the Malaysian. That's unfortunate for Pucha on his home race.
Zen Mitani out of the seat there?
Yeah, it did look like it, didn't it?
I just saw it there. It's cost him the lead as well, and Adaki now is pushed in ahead. I'm sure we might get a replay of that, but it looked like Zen Mitani was playing with fire a little bit there, and he's managed to stay upright at least. Shinya Ozawa fires it up the inside of Puerto-San to move back into fourth.
But I feel, Chris, this is going to go all the way to the wire. Takahiro up the inside, down at turn 9. Gets the job done this time around. Ozawa fancies a bit of that as well. It's getting close at the apex between Adaki and Ozawa, but Adaki hangs it around the outside. He'll have the inside line for turn 10, and the number 14 keeps position. But look at Taki, it's being taken down the back straight. I think Adaki in P2 just didn't fancy getting spray all over his windscreen. It could be pretty difficult to see through the spray. The spray isn't too bad at this moment in time, but as you can see, Takahiro pulling to the left-hand side. Adaki briefly set the fastest lap of the race. Hafai, the Malaysian, has set the fastest lap of the race at 2:35.0. Farish Hafai looking for his first podium of the season, and what a venue to do it at, his home race. The top 8 across the line. The gap had just stretched to 2 seconds between the top 8, but Hafai moved from P8 up into P6, so watch out for the number 19.
What a popular podium finisher that would be here, Farish Hafai. As you said, still waiting for his breakthrough in this class on the top 3. P12 and P9 in Malaysia this time round. He's on for a better result in Sepang. But it's all about the front 4 at the minute. Takahiro once again out front, and as you said, it has dried up significantly around Sepang International Circuit. Though, as you can see, there are still some bits of spray coming up from the back of these Honda machines, so riders can't just throw caution to the wind just yet. They might fall victim to these mixed conditions, so they need to show their racecraft over the next 5.5 laps or so.
Certainly will. It's such a shame that Pratama crashed out of the race. This would have been, it's a fascinating race, it is, but chuck Pratama in there to potentially win the title today, and this would have been a tantalising prospect. But as it is, we've still got a fascinating at turn 9 up the inside, and Matani just gives it in back, does the number 19. Have a bit of that, says Matani. Matani knows, of course, he's got to gain as many points. Era clearly comfortable, clearly wants to lead this race, clearly thinks he's quick enough to lead this race, and of course he is. But Adaki can just sit behind him. Adaki doesn't fancy sitting behind him for long. The top 4 into the 2:34s, but look at Hafai's time, Chris, on the number 19, the Malaysian, as we get a change for the lead down at turn 1. Matani late on the brakes, a 2-for-1 deal down at turn 1, and Takahiro goes from P1 to P3 in the click of a finger.
Very, very close racing there as Takahiro is relegated to 3rd position. But as you mentioned, another fastest lap of the race from Farish Hafai. The Malaysian is on the chart. 2:34.183. Going to be quite close enough, but he is by far the fastest rider on circuit, as we have lost another there. Will a move come on Zen Matani? He's very close behind him as we see what happened here. Oof, that's a big crash into the gravel. Thankfully he gets up and walks away okay.
Yeah, race to the line, that could be crucial in a couple of laps time. Matani pulling across the track, just be a little bit careful. Zen Matani, Adaki on the outside, but it is a new race leader in the form of Malaysia, the home hero, the first of 4 home heroes racing here this weekend. It is Hafai on the number 19, who leads for the first time.
We've got the drying circuit, high side out, and they've all done well to avoid him, but that's an absolute disaster.
It's Matani.
Oh, it's Matani who's gone down just after and nobody went down with him, but the rookie rider will be devastated. That is another DNF for him. Here we go, it's just slipped around, and I think that's just a victim to the drying track. We're saying it's drying up, but it's still a little bit slippery out there, and I don't think there was a whole lot he could have done there.
Yeah, just getting a little bit too trigger happy on the exit of turn 2. We've seen a few crashes down there this weekend across the classes, even some of the more experienced riders going down at turn 2. It's easily done, but I think just as the riders are building well, so I think the riders are just starting to gain more confidence, Chris, knowing where they can try and push a little bit more. They've learned where the grip is and seen where they can push the limits, and unfortunately what's the gap going to be for Hafai coming across the line? Is right there. Puerto-San is right there as well. It's a 5-rider battle for the lead with 3 laps to go. Adaki laid on the brakes, a little bit out of the shape, but he's got it parked up onto the apex, leaving Hafai with nowhere to go. That's a cracking move from the number 14.
Yeah, Eamon O'Daki. Oh, Farish Hafai has gone down now as well. Oh, that's absolute devastation for the home fans and for the home rider. He was pushing, another rider pushing the limit. Will he get remounted? He's still on the track, so hopefully there won't be any problems there. But Farish Hafai, both riders chasing their maiden and gaining a little bit more ground on the championship leader Veda Pratama, who was probably the first rider, if memory serves me correctly, to crash out of this race.
That's such a shame for Hafai. I didn't want to say it on the live, but I was thinking it. It was going to be win it or bin it for Hafai. Didn't look like he did much wrong there, unfortunately. The race lead in the lead group. Where has Takahira gone, Chris? Because he rounded turn 2 and now he's down in P10. On our timing screens on the left-hand side of the screen, now P11. So I don't know what's happened to...
Of survival now. But victory is between Shinya Ozawa, who leads ahead of Eamon O'Daki. It's a Sepang showdown between the two Japanese riders. Jack Rafet Puetasan, can he get a little bit closer? He's 1.5 seconds behind the front two, and he's only got less than 2 laps to do it. Can he reel them in on this drying track? Well, as we've seen, nobody is safe out there and anything can happen in these mixed conditions. But it's time to see what these riders are made of. Eamon O'Daki leads with under 2 laps remaining.
Interesting to see how Puetasan plays this. He knows Pratama's crashed out. He knows a couple of his other rivals have crashed out. P3 is a good points all for the number 20, but he needs more points than that if he's going to close Pratama down in the overall standings more. But P3 will be okay for now. 55 points will be the gap. I think if it stays like that, we'll get confirmation. But it looks like it is a race between the two Japanese riders. The number 21, the runner-up from last year, Shinya Ozawa, and on the number 14, Eamon O'Daki, both looking, remember, for their first victory of the season. Turn 6 rounded, that's where Veda Pratama crashed out on the second lap. If you're just joining us, drama has unfolded throughout this race. Go back to the start and watch it in full before this race finishes, before we get any more spoilers. Ozawa setting the fastest lap of the race, 2:33.9 last time out, a couple of attempts quicker than O'Daki went, but as you can see from your screens, there is nothing in it between the 21 and the 14. O'Daki, is he going to have a look up the inside down at turn 9? No, not this time around.
Yeah, Puetasan is out of this victory battle, 2.5 seconds behind now, but it's all about Ozawa and O'Daki, two riders from the land of the rising sun here in Sepang, chasing their maiden win of that campaign, and just over a lap to do it. There are a couple opportunities for O'Daki to make a move. He's having a little peek up the inside of Ozawa there as they come around 12 and 13. But we've got turn 14 as a popular overtaking spot, as is the last corner, turn 15. While he'll have a couple more opportunities on the final lap, turn 1 mainly, if he wants to take the initiative and lead going through the final lap. But then he would have to defend at turn 4 and among some of the other brilliant turns at this amazing circuit. But at the moment they're side by side and taking 2 different lines here, but Shinya Ozawa is going to hold the advantage coming into the final corner as we prepare for the final lap of race 1 here in the Asia Talent Cup.
Oh, out the seat is Ozawa.
The
penultimate, the final corner on the penultimate lap. The number 21 of Ozawa is out the seat. Somehow he holds on to the lead as they cross the line, pretty much line astern, next to each other, Ozawa and O'Daki, as we start the final lap of the race. A 2-horse race for victory here in Sepang. Looks like Puetasan has settled for P3, but no one here is going to settle for anything other than a victory, you feel. The number 21 of Ozawa and the number 14 of O'Daki. That was a heavy warning sign for Ozawa on the exit of the final corner. The rider's clearly pushing there. Very confident now in these conditions. They know exactly where the grip is and how hard to push. That was a little warning for Ozawa. Now what can O'Daki do? Turn 1 is a popular passing manoeuvre. That's gone. Turn 4 up the hill through the fast right-hander of turn 3 is coming up now. O'Daki just hold station for now.
Yeah, he's not got the line there to try anything. I think he might leave it late here. Eamon O'Daki has experience in these last lap shootouts so far in 2023. Veda Pratama has been the thorn in his side and foiled him on multiple occasions. But what has he learned from his experiences against the Indonesian? Because now he's facing his compatriot Shinya Ozawa, who's chasing his first victory of the year. Let's see what racecraft O'Daki has picked up over the year and where will he make his move. We're looking at turn 9 and 14, or is there going to be a chance there? Not quite yet, but turn 9 and 14 look to be the best opportunities for the number 14.
Yeah, coming down to turn 9 now. I thought Azara was slightly wide coming through turn 7, but he just took a late apex. Adaki doesn't make the move down at turn 9, so that's one of the best places to overtake. Again, gone for Adaki, but he's right on the coattails of the number 21 of Azara. Adaki certainly has a game plan in place here. Where will it be? Will it be turn 14, the penultimate corner? Turn 15 is the last opportunity to make an overtaking move here at Sepang International Circuit. This is turn 12, they'll flick it right through turn 13. There's nothing between the pairing. Turn 14, Adaki late on the brakes but hangs it around the outside. It's going to be Slipstream City all the way down the back straight. Who's going to get on the power best out of turn 14? Here we go down the back straight for the final time. The 21 of Azawa pulling over to the right hand side, but Adaki's got a great run down into the final corner. Azawa tries to get up on the inside, taking the inside line. Who's going to be last of the late breakers?
Azawa's back up the inside.
Oh, that's close around the final corner. It looks like Adaki's going to hand it around the outside now. Who's going to pull the pin and get the run to the line? It looks like it's Ayman Adaki. Azawa shakes his head. It is going to be Ayman Adaki who wins here in Malaysia. A fantastic race here in race 1 of Malaysia. Look what it means to the number 14 of Adaki. The number 21 of Azawa hangs his head. He'll be disappointed with P2, but what a race between the pair. And look, the clear vices.
Yeah, look at the stoppie and everything.
Look what it means.
Joy and delight.
Wah, oh no. Jalannya rek, tebuan rek. Saomatrok. Aduh rek. Main tengah tebuan. Main di tengah tebuan. Ampun. RT1 Pecaton. RT1 Sumber Nanas Pecaton. Aduh. Wis ono dalan rono. Gak cocok guys, gak cocok iki nggo sepeda metik. Aduh. Alamak. Kudune nggo sepeda trail rene iki. Aduh. Aduh ngeblur. Aduh ngeblur. Fitri toko pecatan. Amit. Amit Bu, ngirim paket. Mas. Pak Yanto, no Pak Yanto.